Welcome to the Outer Circle. I'm Kat, and today we will be going through the new FAQ, the newest FAQ that is, that got released over the weekend of July 2018 for Horus Heresy. And because I am just a journalist and I offer no technical input whatsoever, in fact, my job is to actually tailor it left or right, but I'm joined today with, I guess, the rules boy. Uh, how's it going, rules boy?
It's going fairly well today. How about yourself?
Yes, pretty good. So I met the rules boy. That's not his real name, funnily enough, but we're both from South Australia. We went to the first heresy event in South Australia last weekend, and it was really, really good. And you're known throughout the community in South Australia to be probably the guy who knows the rules the best in
Yeah.
South Australia. How did that come about?
Basically, I ended up having to play that many armies just to try and get other people into the game as well in our community there. So like I'd bring along 4 or 5 different armies depending on where I went. After someone asked to play them, so I had to continually know my own rules plus X amount of other things at every time I played. So
Yeah, and so that's just heresy. So you
yep.
you just do heresy now, or you're a 40k player as well?
Uh, I haven't touched 8th edition yet, um, or Age of Sigma. So
Good
overall, it's
man,
basically all
good man.
heresy.
So I'm in South Australia. I guess I'm considered I'm in the Badlands kind of area.
Yep.
You're located in the wasteland, like you're wasteland. So
Yeah.
that's like, is that all you get to do? You just must just your all you do is work and killing raiders, and by the when you're not killing raiders, you just go on through the rules, I guess. I'm surprised
Yeah,
we've got
basically.
such good connection and clarity, but okay, cool. So without further ado, let's go into the rules. We'll start off with the updated and Errata, the rule book one, so the general,
Yep.
as they say. So uh, Perils of the Warp, page 26. Add the following to the end of the first paragraph under the heading Perils of the Warp. If a vehicle suffers perils of the warp, it always experiences a psychic backlash result of on the Perils of the Warp table.
Yeah,
Any
that's
change there?
uh, it just means it's a force result instead of a random d6. Uh, no, it can't just blow itself up.
Good, good. I sent you something. Macca really hates this FAQ because he's a Thousand Sun, the other host on this, the Outer Circle. Um,
Yep.
yeah, and he hates it because he uses the other powers that got nerfed or something. So some crazy stuff. We'll get to that in any
Yep.
case, and I'm sure he'd probably do a separate show on that
Yeah.
with lots of salt. So the vehicle's ordnance weapons. Replace the entire paragraph headed vehicles and ordnance weapons with the following: vehicles may fire ordnance weapons. A vehicle that fires an ordnance weapon may only make snapshots with its other weapons that turn. Unlike other units, vehicles can both move and shoot with ordnance weapons in the same turn. Is that so? Yeah. So if you were stationary before, you could fight everything, including your ordnance and your other weapons, right?
Yeah, that's how it was written for a couple of the other tanks. Other than those that had the heavy profile, like the Lehman Russes for your militia and solar. So that's pretty much they've just added the snapshots if you fire the ordnance.
I'd really like to see more militia on the table, but I don't know. Is that?
Yeah.
Hmm. Oh, you had an army stolen, by the way, out of your car.
Yes. Yes.
You had a Death Guard army stolen out of your fucking car. How pathetic are people? That's so sad.
Yeah, yeah. It kind of ruined it. You would have seen it at the event. Had that not have happened, full like remnants of the Eisenstein was the theme.
That's a real shame. That's so yeah. If you're buying a Death Guard army online, everyone, yeah, just be wary. I'm wary of all that crap anyway, because you look at some eBay profiles and they're like, hey, here's an entire army, and I've never sold anything before, and I don't know how to name any of these units or what this game system is. But yeah, that's a real shame. That's and unfortunately, you're not the only dude that I know that's happened to. Like I'm sure
Yeah,
everyone knows of a dude that had an army style. It's so sad. That's yeah. I left my army in my car in my locked garage the day of the event, and I was like sweating. I'm just like, what if someone breaks in through my garage and then breaks into my car to get to my
yeah,
army? I'm just like, shit. Oh well, that's a shame. Okay, back to the Penelope of War. I always call it Penelope, motherfucker. Why the fuck do I call it Penelope? Oh my god. Okay, Panoply of War, page 131. Add the following bullet points to the list. So this was discussed on the Eye of Horus podcast recently. Dudes have gone with that Penelope of War and added other units where, and they're good units like the Baby Knight,
yep,
some assassins. You've seen that the Lupercal tank, which is
yep,
um, the which tank was a couple other tanks, right?
yeah,
But and they call that Penelope. I think they should find a new word for it because Penelope of War is in the rulebook, and
yeah,
this now officially you can take questing knights for your legions and stuff now, right? So this is like official, and there were
yeah,
there were pictures of this from one of the recent events, Forge World events, and people were running with it anyway. But now it's like official, so now you can have
yeah.
can you get the knight with it's the knight Atropos, isn't it? Where's the Atropos?
Yeah,
You
with the
can't get
vortex cannon.
Atropos. Yeah, you
No,
can't take him. So you can't take the
or
good
the
one.
no, that one's there too.
Is he? Where Atropos?
The
Atropos.
oh no, sorry, I was about to say the Porphyrion, but no, that's there.
Okay. Is
So you
he?
get the big cannon one.
Yeah, yeah, that's the huge one, the huge dude with the
Yeah,
four cannons. Yeah, but not the Atropos is
not
he's a
the
good one.
actual.
He's for points to um yeah, he's got the two D weapons, the shooting ones.
Yeah,
Is it on a D6 it becomes a
yeah. On a roll of a
D.
6, it turns into a vortex template.
Yeah, that's it. And but he's got the close combat weapon that's a D weapon, which is huge.
Yep.
But unfortunately, so you can't take that, which is cool. I think that this was needed like badly because all these dudes that had a knight for their 3,000 point armies. I don't think a knight's that overpowered,
No.
and it adds a lot of flavor. So that's cool. And everyone was expecting that anyway because
Yep.
from the reviews. Cool. Reserves. Under the heading arriving from reserve, replace the third paragraph with the following. Some special rules can modify the role required for a unit to arrive from reserve, regardless of the modifiers. Or modifiers, a natural roll of a 1 always means that the unit in question remains in reserve, and on a natural roll of a 6 always means that the unit in question arrives from reserve. So that's cool because I know that there can be modifiers to get people to be a 1 plus basically from reserves with
Yeah.
some Alpha Legion special characters. And so this is why they're saying it's not an auto come in. So if you roll a 1, you still fail. And yeah,
And
modifiers that negate your enemy's reserves if you know they never come in a 6, they can come in. So I've never seen a list to like tailor to anti-reserve for people though.
yeah. It's only that rare command tank and stuff for I think
Yeah,
it's
right.
yeah.
Yeah, so that's cool that they clarified that. It's the same with as a save. If you can get up to like a 1 plus plus, the natural roll of a 1 is still a
Yeah.
fail. Cool. So that's at least that's clarified. I guess it was kind of needed. It's good that it's there, I suppose.
Yeah.
Special rules, page 169, under the heading Preferred Enemy, add the following at the end of the text. If a model with this rule makes an attack against a mixed unit which has one or more models to which their preferred enemy rule pertains, but it's not entirely composed of such models, it may still benefit from the effects of preferred enemy for all attacks made against that unit. For example, a model with preferred enemy independent characters may re-roll fail to hit and to wound rolls against all the models in a unit which has been joined by an independent character. So
Um,
what the hell? Is that's just
uh,
clarifying that it's
yeah,
putting preferred enemy onto the
because
roll. Right.
because you know the massive FAQ at the end of 7th edition that came out.
Yeah, yeah.
This was brought out with that, and then we lost it going into 1st edition again. So it's just bringing that rule back up again.
I see. Cool. So more
Yeah.
clarification. Good, good. Okay, so special rules. So is there any, there's no crazy bull crap now? We're not going to see, that's not like, are we going to see any more, like, do you reckon that'll create some crazy preferred enemy Death
Um,
Stars or something?
you may see some people like concentrate their characters together more, just so that my main objective squads aren't going to get shot off the table a bit faster because my Praetor's sitting with them, or I've got a Centurion sitting there.
Right. Okay, cool. Special rules, page 172, under the heading. Oh, this is a big one. This is
Ooh.
one of the tough ones. Under the heading sniper, add the following to the end of the text. If a model making a shooting attack would normally need less than a 4+ to wound, thanks to their weapon's strength, the better to wound roll is still used. No, this was always a thing. Simply if the weapon they are used already has a superior AP value, the AP value is still used. Attack with the blast template special rule may never benefit from the effects of the sniper rule. That
This one, we
that's always been a thing. That was always a
well,
thing.
it wasn't written in the rulebook that way. It was written so if I shot you with a plasma gun,
Hmm.
I could only wound you on a 4. Even if you're a toughness 4, I could only wound you on a 4. And yeah, the blast and templates was the same. But back to the 7th ed release, you could fire from a combat grenade launcher your frag shells, get your AP2 hits on 6s, regularly wounding on 4s instead of 5s, or your melter guns instead of wounding on 2 again would be forced to wound on 4s. So that actually helps out quite a bit, making the squads more reliable. Your heavy bolters are better again, for the vet, for what most people
Dark
used to run
Angels
with the
ones,
vet.
yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, the veteran squads. I'm sure we'll get up to that soon.
yeah.
So field artillery, replace the quad launcher frag weapons with the profile following: quad launcher 12 to 6, strength 5, AP 5, heavy 4, barrage, blast 3 inches. Note the profile replaces all instances of the weapons profile for the quad launcher frag in all rulebooks, campaign books, and army list books. Where was that change? I thought that was the same.
I I couldn't see much change. I'm wondering if it had something to do with the Crusade Imperialis. Was it Crusade Imperialis book?
Oh, right.
So for some reason, I swear I saw that the frag rounds for the militia, for some reason, were listed at strength 4, and
Ah,
that's
okay.
about it.
Right. Cool. Graviton Weapons, page 177. Replace Graviton Imploder weapon profile with the following: Graviton Imploder, range 18, strength star, AP2, salvo 2-4/4, concussive, Graviton Implosion, and then it's got the Graviton Implosion rule. Instead of rolling to wound normally, with this weapon, any model which is hit by the attack with special rule must roll equal to or under the strength of or suffers 1 wound. Roll 3d6 for armor penetration against targets with armor value. Roll separately each for each successful hit. So is this changed a bit? It was always salvo, right?
Is this the? No, this isn't. Yeah, I believe it was Salvo. This isn't the one for the Leviathan, is it?
The Leviathan? Yeah, it could be actually. Well, it's Graviton Imploder. I think um the weapons teams get it as well, right?
Yeah.
It's the bigger weapon, the bigger one.
Which, because if it's the one that's on the Rapier teams,
Hmm.
it was only AP4 before.
Ah, okay. All right. So that's Range 18 though. Yeah, so it'll be on the Leviathan. I don't know if the rapier one will get that. It's kind of pointless at
Yeah,
18 inches.
but well, which means it's gone from I believe heavy to
And salvo. Yeah, salvo
but
2-4.
where's the it's a blast profile normally, or it
Okay,
was a blast profile.
okay. Yeah, I guess it's okay for
Yeah,
um the Leviathan. I mean, I don't see this. Everyone's still going to use the melter
yeah,
chain gun thing still. I don't see this being a
yeah.
thing. And I like my fist and my claw because strongman competitions. Cool.
Yeah.
The Horus Heresy Legion Stardust Age of Darkness Army list. Legion Master of the Signal Console. I swear, is this the older one or is this the fucking new one? I'm so confused. No, this is the console striker pocket threat attachment. Where's the sniper? Oh yeah, no, this is the new one, right? Cool.
Yep.
Legion Master Signals console under the heading Special Rules Armed the Bullet Point Bombardment to read. Bombardment once per game in lieu of firing a weapon in the shooting phase. A Master of Signal can opt to call in a bombardment attack against the enemy. This attack need not select the same target as any unit to which the Master of Signals is attached and may be made even if he has moved this turn or is embarked upon a vehicle, in which case he must use a firing point, but may not be made in the same turn using his Cognos Signum. The attack has the following profile, shown as on page 19. So I'm aware of this. I've used the Master of Signals before, so
Yep.
uh, the only thing he's given the Signum's giving +1 ballistic skill to whatever's attached to. So if he in lieu of using that, he can now move, shoot out, use his bombardment out of vehicles, shoot a different vehicle, move and shoot his bombardment, but
Yep.
you're just losing that ballistic skill 5, which is cool because it was really
Yeah.
hard. People didn't know if they could transport and all that stuff. So it's cool that they clarified that.
Yeah.
And I think you'll see. Well, he was an easy take because he's given the +5 ballistic skill and he's got the bombardment. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think now you'll see that bombardment more on the first turn, and then you can just start buffing units for a small points cost. So
Yep.
yeah, more of an auto include than ever before. Good work, Mr. Signalman. Legion Champion Console. Ooh, I used this at the event because this
Yes.
FAQ came out halfway through the event, so day 2 at the event that we both were at, and I was taking a champion console for my fallen Dark Angels. So yeah, I gave
Yeah.
him. So yeah, it's just he gets access to a Paragon Blade. Do you think this will entice people to take champions more?
I am seeing Emperor's Children loving this. Just because they have to. Was it Masakara? You have to bring a champion.
Oh, okay. And that's the one with the
Yeah.
fast attacks and elites get outflank or D3 or something.
Yeah.
3, yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're gonna love that. Honestly, I always prefer a champion versus a Praetor. Main reason I brought them was just for the extra wound for the Praetor versus the Consul.
But the Praetor is getting you can get him up to 5 base compared to 3.
Yeah. But I guess I know my Praetors are averaging around 200 points, whereas this would be 110, 120.
Yeah, right.
So that'll
Significant
allow
points.
me to bring an extra 5 guys in a unit, or just flesh out something else, get some upgrades that I would normally take that I can't take because of it.
Cool. I can guarantee he did nothing for me. He killed, I think, for the 3 games that I played in day 2, he killed a couple of Marines, I think. But he died in challenges
Yep.
to power fists and stuff. That 5+, man, that 5 with
Yeah.
his shield, it doesn't do much. His little force field doesn't do much. Oh well. Legion Chaplain console. Replace the text under the bullet point. War gear to read. Replace their chainsword or combat blade or power weapon for the Terminator armor with Crozius Arcanum, which is a power weapon. Type is shown on the model. The Crozius Arcanum is a chaplain's symbol of office and may not be replaced by any other weapon. But you can still, which is a power weapon. So it has to be a power weapon. You can't make it a
Yeah,
fist or something like that,
yeah.
right?
So this more affects the Terminator guy. Because
Right.
yeah, you can no longer give him because he's forced to take the combi bolter.
Hmm.
So the power weapon's just set. So yeah. But there was the point where before with the Terminator list that you could get him an additional attack because he had the power weapon in the, as from upgrading to Terminator armor plus the Crozius.
Right.
So I know someone who ran it with the Crozius as a maul and then a power axe as well.
Hmm. Yeah, those chaplains, man. Oh well, that's some good
Yeah.
clarification there. Uh, veteran tactics. This is a huge one. In the veteran tactics box out, okay. Replace the bullet point marksman with the following: stalkers. The unit gains scout special rule. Uh, cool. This is a huge one. So no more sniper
Yeah.
vets, right?
Yep. Yep. No more sniper vets, but I feel like they were relied on too much. Because you'd never see a Xenobane squad. You'd rarely see a a machine killer squad. And weapon masters was sometimes it was a little bit more frequent that I saw them than others, but every time it was the go-to marksman.
Well, they can still take melter bombs at a very 25 points per squad. So I think they're they haven't taken a huge. It's a big nerf, no doubt. Their bolt guns have become, as pretty useless, and their special weapons are going to be relied a lot more upon. But this can still take melter bombs for a ridiculous amount. And if you're chucking them in a rhino, sure they don't get outflanked, but they're getting +1 to the damage result
Yeah,
on vehicles. So even in a vehicle heavy meta, you're going to have. I think you can still, and people already have vets, right? The people that are taking vets still have all these vets,
yeah,
unless they're changing them over to seekers, right?
yeah,
But
exactly.
yeah, so um,
Which,
yeah, and even with Stalker, they get the scout rule, which gives them outflank still. So they just don't have sniper, but they still got those melter bombs, which I think is pretty big
yeah,
still.
yeah. Especially with multi-bombing being back in this edition. So,
Yeah, that's it. So they all get to melter bomb. That was always a thing, and that was always they intended it. So I don't think
yep.
it's a huge nerf for them. It's definitely a lot better
No,
for the opponent.
no, yeah, you'll see if people want those AP2 shots. You'll see the Seekers on the field more if they really want to keep that up. But overall, I think this actually helps them more than it hinders.
Yeah, nice. Um, impeccable advance, page 30. Replace all the text under the heading impeccable advance to read. Units with this special rule are always counted as scouting units in any mission where troops are also counted as scoring units. Well, what the hell has that impeccable advance?
Terminator squads, most of
Oh,
your
right. Yep.
Legion-specific Terminators, yeah, it's all Terminators basically. I don't think there's any power armor which has it.
Hmm. But so your support squads, scouts, seekers, any infantry were really scoring units too, right? But I don't think it states that they're impeccable advance. I'm not sure.
Uh, Only troops choices are
Okay, right.
score
So even if,
objective.
yeah, right. Okay. So your seekers can't take, still don't have impeccable advance, and they can't take objectives.
Yeah, unless the scenario says otherwise.
Roger. So there's another one for veteran tax over seekers still.
Yep.
Um, yeah, impeccable advance. Yeah, Terminators always had that, right? That was always a thing.
Yeah. So they've just I believe it used to just say this unit counts as a scoring unit.
Okay. Right.
So they've made sure
So,
that it's
right, because there are some missions where it says tanks can only score, or tanks and elites
yeah,
can only score objectives, whereas, and then they were like, hey, I have Terminators, and it says they always count as scoring units. Okay, so this clarifies it more for those
yep.
scenarios. That's cool. So, Apothecarian Detachment, page 32. Add the following bullet points under the heading Unit Composition for the purpose of missions which make use of victory points for killing units. The Apothecarian Detachment is not considered to be a separate unit, and victory points cannot be scored for its destruction. So how do we clarify that. So they're basically another Marine in the squad.
Yep, extra body in the unit. I think you used to score. There was the argument that you could score the point if all 3 apothecaries or however many you brought in the detachment would also generate you an additional point if you killed them all. But rarely came up. There was normally at least 1 left, so most people that I know of played with that they just counted as a part of the unit already, so this doesn't change much overall.
Okay, cool. Because I always thought, because say you buy 3 apothecaries, right, and you've got
Yep.
three tactical squads, so that would have been, in my mind, that would have been 6 kill points.
Yeah, that it would help out with the it's the fact that they've got the character rule for me instead of the independent character rule.
Right.
Because the independent character counts as a separate unit, whereas character counts as the unit.
Yeah, just like a sergeant and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Cool. Legion Dreadnought Talon, page 33, under the heading Dedicated Transport, replace the bullet point with the following. A Legion Dreadnought Talon numbering a single Dreadnought may select a Legion drop pod or Legion Dreadnought drop pod as a dedicated transport. So this is the box dread, right? Dreadnought Talon. Yeah, it's just the
Yep.
normal Dreadnought box dread. So he can just take a normal drop pod. I thought this was always... I told this to somebody on the Forge World page, and they were like, "Oh, they could always take a normal drop pod." I didn't think they could.
Yeah. I believe I'm in the same boat as you. I thought it was only the Legion Dreadnought drop pod.
Mhm.
But with how often people were using just regular drop pods as those anyway,
Yeah.
I guess it just yeah.
Yeah. I mean, who's paying for a Dreadnought drop pod and putting a box dread in it? And I don't think anyone's really
Yeah.
going to be paying the 35 points for a drop pod for a box dread anyway. That's
Nah.
You see a lot of box dreads in ZM, Zone Mortalis and stuff with the Inferno cannon, but I don't see them in normal Dark Age a lot at all. I mean, more power to you if you're doing that, and more power to you if you're putting in a drop pod. I mean, that's some Isfan 5 LARPing, dude. Go nuts, but I just don't see a lot of it. Dreadnought Talon, replace the text under Dreadnought Talon. Special rule with the following. A Dreadnought Talon is a specific formation designed to operate as a clenched fist on the battlefield in order to smash through the fiercest resistance, but given the power of the individuality of the Dreadnoughts themselves, operates more akin to a warrior band than a squadron unit. When first deployed on the battlefield, either at the start of the game or when arriving via reserves later on, the Dreadnought in a Talon must be placed within 6 inches of each other, and afterwards are not treated as a vehicle squadron but operate independently as individual units for the purpose of taking any actions, as well for determining victory points in missions which use the victory points for destroying units. Okay, so you're taking them as a squadron, but they have to deploy within 6 inches of each other, but they all count as individual kill points.
Yep.
So can you take a Talon in 3 drop pods? Can you take 3 box dreads and put them in 3 drop pods as a Talon?
No, not oh, sorry. No, not as a Talon.
For the purpose of
Drop pods can
drop
scatter.
pods. Yeah.
So there's no guarantee that they would end within 6 inches of each other at the end of their deployment.
Yeah. So they have to be within 6 inches.
Yeah. Plus, drop pod rule is half rounding up. Can come in turn 1. So you wouldn't be able to get the full Talon in if that's all of what you've got anyway. So you'd have to take them as 3 individual slots.
Cool. Put it in the comments if you don't agree with Rules Boy on that and want to fight that, because that'll create some interesting discussion. Legion Seeker Squad, page 48, under the heading Options, amend the 3rd bullet point to read any model in the unit may exchange their bolter for a combi weapon for 5 points each. So it used to be 7, right? Or was it 10? The 7 for vets, 10 for a seeker, I think, right?
Yeah,
And that
yeah.
yeah, that was the point
So
of congestion there because congestion. I think that's it. Ooh. Yeah, because veterans were getting cheaper combis than the seekers. So people think that seekers are going to be seen more now. I doubt that because well they can't take objectives unless the mission specifies, right? They're not a
yeah,
guaranteed objective boy. They are a fast attack, and some missions grant you 2 victory points if you kill stuff with a fast attack, extra kill points if
yep,
you hit them with a fast attack. But I just don't see. I love them. I took them before, like when they were expensive as hell,
yeah,
because of that assassin thing. But I think they fit some armies and they don't fit others for fluff purposes. But
yeah,
for the min maxing, I don't see it as a thing. Well, maybe it's just like more 7th edition than ever before, and you'll just see a bunch of seekers in drop pods of 8, I think, with melter guns. That was the magic number to just drop pod everywhere
yep,
and kill things.
yeah.
What about you? Gonna add some seekers to your wolves?
Oh, definitely.
Okay,
Especially now since with some of the rules we're going to come up with, or the FAQ that we've got up later. Yeah, definitely. Between them and veterans, I'm going to try and run some slightly smaller lists that aren't involving 180 Grey Slayers.
interesting. All right, so Rats 4, Sky Hunter Phalanx, page 102. Under the bullet points, rapid encirclement, amend the text to read, units entirely composed of jet bikes, including those taken as mounts by independent characters, may be removed from play at the beginning of their own movement phase and placed into ongoing reserves, as long as they did not arrive from reserve on the same turn, are not falling back, and are not locked in combat. These units must automatically re-enter play from reserve in the controlling player's next turn using the outflank special rule. So, how has this changed, if at all?
Again, it's just more clarification. I have come across people who argued that, like, if they had an apothecary on a bike attached to a squad to the command squad who was all on jet bikes, that worked.
Okay, cool.
So
Cool.
that would take off. So it just clarifies more.
Sweet. Augury Scanner, huge one again. Page 131. Replace the final sentence under the heading Augury Scanner with the following. If a unit has at least one model equipped with an Augury Scanner, all the ranged weapons in that unit gain the Interceptor special rule. So apparently this means that you're no longer restricted to your 18 inches of firing for Interceptor, people have said.
Uh, it replace the fight. It only says replace the final sentence. So if it appears before that, the 18 inches, then the thing that it actually makes better is rapid fire and heavy weapons. You're not just restricted to those, because I believe that was the last sentence. The rapid fire or heavy weapons was what they were only allowed to use with the augury scanner.
It's far me to argue with the internet, but a lot of people, so this is an issue with the FAQ. People are now interpreting this. So as you stated, I've seen a lot of people come up with that. The whole, depends on the last sentence. And as it is, according to the internet, yeah, it's full distance now.
Yep.
Whether that was it probably doesn't look like it was done on purpose, and it's again the internet doing their thing, breaking the fucking FAQ. But yeah, now people are interpreting that as they get the full range of their weapons and not restricted to
Yeah.
18. So that, so what do you reckon about that? Do you reckon that was a deliberate thing to get rid of the 18 inches?
I reckon it could have been, but then again, it's never come up hugely in my games with the augury scanners, because there's always a lot more scarier stuff on the table if you're going to be coming up against that stuff.
Yeah, right. All right, well, I wonder if we'll see a lot more Augur scanners on stuff. Well, combat shields and boarding shields, page 131. Replace the section title Combat Shield and Boarding Shield with the following. Combat shields. Combat shields confer a 6+ invulnerable save. Increase from 5+ in close combat. What? So no more 5+, it's a 6+. Combat shields confer 6+. Sorry, that's
So
combat shields.
yeah,
Yep. And boarding
6+
shields.
from shooting, and then 5+ in
Yep.
combat. So that's the same.
Yep. But then the boarding shields confer a 6+ invulnerable save, increasing it increased to 5 in close combat. Models which have successfully charged any unit in which the majority of the models are equipped with boarding shields do not gain bonus attacks from charging. However, the charged unit unit correction. However, if the charged unit was already locked in combat from a previous turn, the attackers gain bonus attacks as normal. Boarding shields are far heavier and more cumbersome than combat shields. Models equipped with them cannot claim the extra attack from being armed with an additional close combat weapon and may not use any weapons with the two-handed special rule. So just clarifying that, big change.
Yes, they no longer have defensive grenades, because that's what the boarding shield cannon has before, defensive grenades. And also the majority of the squad has to have them now. So you can't have your one character with a shield just say, nah, you don't get your furious charge, you don't get all this. And the two-handed weapons.
But I always thought the Paragon blade is not two-handed. It's just
Yep, it's
cumbersome.
a specialist weapon.
Yeah. So what the two-handed weapons? I mean, there's the Tyrannic Greatsword. There's that. What other two-handed weapons were people
For the
smashing out?
Spaceballs, you've got the Great Frost Blade, and for Death Guard, you've got the clock over the Power Scythe.
Yep.
They both have two-handed Reaping Blow, and I'm not sure about the Phoenix Power Spear. Because I don't.
Oh, true. It is two-handed, isn't it? I think it is
Yeah,
because I
so
don't get
there'd
the
be
+1.
those three. There may be others that I'm not thinking of at this
Yeah,
point
no,
in
I think you're right.
time.
Yeah, I
But
think this I played for the last event we went to. I played against a newer guy who just got into Heresy and who was
yep,
borrowing um Emperor's Children army from someone. As a big 20-man blob with a bunch of characters in it, and I think he had the Phoenix Spirit, and he had the standard chaplain with a boarding shield and a power weapon. So yeah,
yeah,
no more of that shenanigans unless he wants to
yeah,
stick him with a bunch of dudes with the shield. You still don't, if you have more dudes with boarding shields and you still don't get your +1 attack, right? You don't get your bonus attacks charging.
yeah,
What else
yeah.
do the
It's
defensive grenades do then?
defensive grenades removed all charge bonuses.
Oh, so you right.
Yeah.
And so are you
So
still getting your furious charge against this or not?
yep, you're still getting it. You're just not getting the bonus attack.
Okay, sick.
Yep.
Cool. So yeah, big nerf for boarding shields. No more seeing random boarding shields on individual dudes. Uh, what the hell is that? Netheritium? What the hell is that? I've
Uh,
never seen that in my life.
the Narthesium, the medic tools for the apothecary.
Okay, page 32. Correction, page 132. Replace the text under the heading Naritium with the following. While any model carrying this specialized medical and alchemical gear in a unit is in play, all models with the Legion Starter Special Rule, including any independent characters with the Legion Starter Special Rule that have joined the unit, gain the Feel No Pain Special Rule. Okay, I saw this on the internet as well, the little thing called the internet. So apparently this is the thing that's not giving Primarchs Feel No Pain.
Yes. Yes.
Right. Is it giving anyone else, or is it stopping it? Other than that, is it changing anything?
Um. So you can't throw a Primus Medicae in with a squad of militia Bulgrins and get them feel no pain.
Oh,
Yeah, because it's specifically restricting to must have the Legionus Astartes rule.
gotcha. Cool. All right then. Well, that's pretty bad because I don't think there was that many. But you don't see militia that often anyway. And then you have, unless it was some mad combo that I didn't know about and never saw, because no one was that bad in the heresy community attaching um, apothecaries to yeah, Ogren squads. But sure, all right,
Yeah.
that's yeah, and I guess it's cool because the Primarchs aren't getting it now, so hopefully less Primarchs are seen on the tables.
Yeah.
The Horus Heresy Legion of Starters, Dark Age, Darkness Legions. This is Iron Warriors Legion specific unit. Tyrant Siege Terminator squads are heavy support choices. Disregard any reference to this unit in other force organization slots.
So that's just clarifying that they're just a heavy support slot.
So in a say I take a Pride of the Legion war list in for my Iron Warriors, can I
Yep.
take these dudes as elites or troops rather?
You couldn't before anyway.
Well, I don't know,
Because
man. People were
because
doing some dodgy shit before.
Pride of the Legion is only the elite slot, which can be taken.
Ah, so these are heavy boys. So these are still heavy boys.
Yep.
Always heavy. All right. Um, well, they've got 4 heavy support slots anyway, so screw them.
Yeah.
The Primarch Perturabo, aka Pro Turbo, aka Mr. Potato, under the subheading Relentless Strategist in the Special Rules section, replace text with the following. All models in the same army as Perturabo gain the Furious Charge while in enemy's deployment zone. If Perturabo is held in reserve, he may choose the turn in which he and any unit to which he is attached arrive from reserve, starting from the first turn of the game rather than the second. Additionally, under the heading Dedicated Transports, the Tormentor replace the text with the following. Perturabo may take the Tormentor as a dedicated transport in any game of 3001 points or more. The Tormentor is a unique Shadow Sword variant which the Lord of Iron has personally modified, uh, which has the profile listed below. The Tormentor does not take up the Lords of War choice, and its points value does not contribute towards Perturabo's points value when determine Lord of War and the 25% rule. So that's basically you can have 2 Lords of War essentially in 3001 points.
Yep.
OP. I think we're going to see, and this just reinforces a lot of narrative events for people for TOs uh, to stop Primarchs unless the TOs or ROs or whatever have them there to influence the campaign. For your competitive games, wow, that's huge, right? Because then, yeah, again, you just
Yeah.
got 2 Lords of War, so you could have 2 of
Yeah.
these freaking tormented tanks or whatever. It's pretty crazy. Well,
Yep.
rip. Then Rogal Dawn. Oh god. Under the heading the Atos Dios, replace the text with the following: a bunch of freaking words. Is this changed at all? This is his Thunderhawk, right?
Yes. Yes.
Cool. So have they just modified it slightly?
Uh,
It will not die. Void shield. He's got 1 void shield. Wow. 9
It
hull
had
wound.
one. It had a void shield before. Where are you? Eros Dios.
It's the same as Pro Turbo's tank, so
Yeah.
it doesn't take up a lot of war choice. Again, 3001 points. So you could essentially have 2 freaking Lords of War
Yep.
in 3000 points, but again, Primarchs, man, OP.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't see that many Thunderhawks anyway. But then again, I
No.
didn't see that many Sky Shields with tanks on them. But yeah.
Yeah.
What's up?
From what I'm looking at, it's just the 3001 point thing
Yeah, Roger.
again.
Cool. Um, so Legion of Starters, Night Lords. Ooh, they got a thing. Page 36. Under the heading "A Talent for Murder," replace the text with the following: If any unit with the Legion of Starters Night Lord special rule outnumber one or more enemy infantry units during the initiative step in which they fight in an assault, they gain +1 to hit and to wound. Bulky models count as 2 models, and very bulky models count as 3 on both sides for the purpose of working out when Night Lords outnumber their victims. Is that just again more clarity? It was, or did they
Yeah.
add 2 wound as well? That was.
Um, because it was +1 to wound if you outnumbered.
Mhm.
Um, and I believe for the purposes of that overall, +1 to hit and wound, bulky models count. So it's so that if at the, I think it was at the beginning of the combat, if
Mhm.
you outnumbered, you got it. So at initiative step 10.
Right.
So this means that if your Praetor knocks their 10-man Raptor squad down to 7, and you have 15 guys remaining, 15 power armor tacticals remaining, including the Praetor, they no longer outnumber you at initiative step 4.
Ah, okay. So it's giving them a chance.
Yep.
Right. It's giving both sides, I guess, a chance because you can yeah, at the initiative step instead of at initiative 10. Cool. All right. So Conrad Kurz, page 45, under the heading Special Rules, add the following bullet points: Hit and run. Jesus, that's a lot of memes. Under the subheading, the Nightmare Mantle, in the Special Rules section of page 43, replace the text with the following: Curz's raiment of war was a customized artificer suit uh, bedecked in grisly trophies of judgment and the flayed skins of those whose sins he saw as particularly egregious or noteworthy. It provides a 2+ armor save and a 4+ invo. Additionally, on any turn in which he charges, current Kurz makes D3 hammer wrath attacks. So did he just get a slight invo buff there?
2+4+. I don't think so.
Hmm.
I believe it's only. Oh, reading through. Mantle. Copy. Sorry about this.
Well, all good, dude. It's cool that you're
Yeah, I've just brought up my Legion book, so
ah. So it must be the D3 hammer of wrath attacks then, or is it
yeah,
just
two
more
plus
clarity?
four plus, and no,
Well,
no,
no.
uh, grants the hit and run and Hammer of Wrath special rule whenever he charges, inflicting D3 Hammer of Wrath attacks rather than the usual 1 additional.
Okay. So
So doesn't look like anything has changed. It's just they've added hit and run to his special rules instead of. No, it's in the same spot. It's just they've put it as a bullet point instead of a actual thing. And yeah, and I even went over the talent for murder. It's exactly the same as what it was written to begin with too. So this is just almost a complete copy and paste.
it
So
it took him fucking 16 months to copy and paste something. Jesus. Okay. Cool. Spearhead Centurion, Castman of Orth. Uh,
oof.
Under the heading Spearhead Commander, replace the first sentence with the following: At the beginning of the game, Castman of Orth must be assigned to a single vehicle with either the tank or super heavy vehicle type which has a front armor value of at least 13. So I guess people were putting him in like, I don't know, rhinos or something? Is that what was going
Yeah,
on?
I'm gonna guess it's gonna be on lighter chassis because the Predator's still front armor
Yeah.
13.
So people were like legit probably putting him in a Rhino.
Uh,
Yeah.
why? Um, Whirlwind chassis.
Again, why?
Is the yeah,
Okay. Maybe I don't know. So maybe some beardy stuff was going on there in the UK or something. No, not out here in the wasteland, but
yeah,
okay. Well, it is Legion's specific rules, page 53, under the heading Chain Axes. Ooh, wow, I didn't see this one. Replace the
yes.
text with the following. Any models with the Legions of Starters, World Leader special rule, which is equipped with a chainsword or close combat weapon or power weapon in the case of a model in Terminator armor, may replace this with a chain axe for free, so as long as it is appropriately replaced on the model. So this is just reinforcing that they get it for free.
Yes. Yep. And that it must be modeled.
Yeah, I
But
think it always specified it needs to be modeled on the
uh,
miniature, but this means you can still give a tactical squad chain axes for free, as opposed to everyone else who needs to take an additional uh, close combat weapon for 2 points each, right? They're still getting this for free. This is just clarification.
yes. So in the regards for the tacticals, it would be if you've got them flip their bolt gun for a close combat weapon and a pistol as their standard loadout. They'll get the chain axe for free for that. Otherwise, they'll have to pay the 2 points for the additional weapon upgrade to get the chain
Roger.
axe.
Because okay, wow, that's huge. Because I know that people were just rocking dudes with bolt guns and then strapping the chain axe on the back because, as written, it was they were getting it for free.
Yeah.
Whereas, but now they have to pay for it if they want the bolt gun and the close combat weapon and the pistol.
Yep.
Wow.
And
Okay.
it says, yeah, if it has access for it, because the previous rule was if it has access to a chainsword, it can instead take a chain axe for free. But they've got to have the chainsword to begin with.
Yeah. So yeah,
Um,
I know people were just doing it for free for
yeah.
whatever,
The
just for the
other
kids.
thing is, Terminators can swap their power weapons for them now.
Yeah,
That's an
I'm gonna
addition.
see. Well, I'm sure that's we're gonna see a huge chain axe Terminator meta.
Yeah.
Totally, man. Totally. I don't. Yeah. I won't hold my breath on that one.
No.
Lorga, page 105, under the subheading Dark Fortune, in the special rules section, replace the text with the following. Lorga has long been shadowed by the fates of chaos and chosen of one of their favored sons. As a result, the player may reroll any failed and either witch rolls for Lorgar. In addition, once per game, Lorgar's player may elect to force a single enemy model in the unit to reroll all rolls of a 5 or 6, both to hit and to wound Lorgar, and any unit he is attached to in a given player's turn. Note that Lorgar's player may not use this ability to force rerolls against a dedicated transport that he is embarked upon. The use of this power must be declared before the attacking player rolls any dice for attacks by the nominated player or unit that turn. So just a little buff for Lorgar there. I don't even who's ever using Lorgar, honestly.
Yeah, I come across Lorgar a lot.
Oh, okay. Hmm.
Okay, so the force reroll, that was a rule already.
Hmm.
He had that as a one use. No, yeah, the dedicated transport. I believe that's the yeah the transport is the only thing that's changed there.
Okay, so people were obviously um, using it against
Yeah.
the transport. All right, cool. Legion of Starters Salamanders, page 106, under the heading Prometheum Gift. I'm in the bullet points to read. All hand flamers, flamers, and heavy flamers used by models with the special rule gain +1 strength to their listed profile. The special rule also extends to any salamander vehicle used by an attachment containing use with this rule. In addition, all enemy flamer type attacks are -1 strength when used against units comprised wholly of models with the Legion Starter Salamander rule. Note, this benefit is not lost if a unit with this rule is joined by by the Primarch Vulcan. Right, because he doesn't have Legion of Starters, Salamanders,
No.
right? Right.
Yeah. No, he doesn't.
Yeah. So that's just more clarification, I suppose, there. Cool.
Yep.
Vulcan under the heading The Darkened Scale. Replace the text following. Vulcan's armor was a marvel of the Imperium and a famed relic in its own right. Its crown glory was the skull of a great fire drake boy mounted upon the Primarch's shoulder, upon whose image the Legion symbol was based. The Darkened Scale provides Vulcan with 2+ armor save and 3+ invulnerable save. It also halves the strength rounded down of any flamer, fusion, Volkite, melter, plasma weapon when rolling to wound against Vulcan only. So that is more clarification, I believe, because I'm guessing people were just kind of putting that rule onto the squad he joined.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. That would basically be it. From reading over the other rule at the same time, that seems like they're just claiming that he's got it, even if he's not the first thing getting hit.
Hmm. Cool, but it's only him that gets it.
Yeah.
Yeah, sick. Legion of Starters, Raven Guard, page 114, under the heading by Wing and Talon, and then 2 bullet points to read. Infantry, except models with Terminator armor and of any type, or the jump infantry type infiltrate and fleet. Jump infantry, bikes and jet bikes, infantry in Terminator armor, Furious Charge. Okay, question.
Yep.
Do Reaper batteries get infiltrate and fleet or Furious Charge?
No, because they are not completely comprised of one or the other.
Cool. So other than that, well, that was, I guess, that was one of the things. That was already, that's how people were rocking that. So what is this clarified then?
It's switched Furious Assault to Furious Charge,
Ah, of course. Okay.
which you'll see a lot of that throughout the book, or throughout
Gotcha.
the FAQ.
Gotcha. Cool. Strike Captain Jerkbag, Alaverx Mon. Under the heading The Bleeding Edge, add the following at the end of the text. If Striker Captain Jerkbag enters play in a vehicle with the drop pod assault special rule, his vehicle must arrive on the first game turn. He may not enter play embarked upon a vehicle with the subterranean assault rule. Okay, because the transports, the little subterranean transports are out now. So, and
Yep.
that does deep strike. So, but he has to be in a drop pod, something that
Yep.
says drop pod on it. Okay, so that's clarified that, because I'm sure people were trying to do crazy shenanigans.
Yes.
Okay, we're still going on this
Yeah.
one. Oh my god! All right, the Horus Heresy Crusade. This is a lot longer than I thought it would be.
Yes.
The Horus Heresy Crusade Imperial's army list. Displacer matrix, under the heading Displacer matrix, replace the second paragraph with the following. Displacer matrix provides 3+ invulnerable save. In addition, the first time a 1 is rolled when making an armor save for a model equipped with the Displacer matrix, the wound is ignored and the model is immediately removed from play and enters ongoing reserve. The model must then return to play at the beginning of the controlling player's next turn, using Deep Strike special rule. But if any deep strike mishap occurs, they are destroyed. If the model enters ongoing reserve in the manner of the final game turn, it is destroyed for the purpose of the mission, which victory points are scored for destroying the unit. Who the hell gets the Displacer Matrix?
I am trying to find that out right now. This is something I'm gonna guess it's something to do with Solar.
Yeah, right, of course.
Uh,
Okay, cool. I don't know if he did I've never seen some teleporting boy around when he rolls a 1. I guess because a lot of people I play just tend not to roll 1s.
the Lord Marshal can take a Displacer Matrix, so the
Yeah, he can take
Legate
a
Commander
Paragon.
upgrade.
Legio Commander.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
the same guy who can take the Paragon Blade
yeah,
as well.
right. So the jacked up dude. That's cool. Well, so was the teleporting thing normal, or is this just more clarification that if he was destroyed, he does count as a
as a
victory point.
kill.
Yeah, I
I
think.
think that part of it is the clarification there if he mishaps and dies.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Or because especially since it says any deep strike mishap.
Yeah.
So because all your deep strike mishap is anything but ongoing reserves, isn't it?
Um.
Or
Well,
is it no?
no,
Or is
because
it
I can
all?
place them as well. So you got destroyed, ongoing reserves, and the enemy places them.
Yeah, but that whole table is the mishap table.
hmm So, but if any deep strike mishap occurs, they are destroyed. Okay, right.
So
Cool.
he
He
has
has
to
to be,
land.
yeah, he has to land. Okay, cool. So that's clarified. AF, man. Cool. Take that, Solar Ox players.
And
Uh, anything else on that?
I haven't been able to find that
Ah, all
specific
good.
rule yet.
Well,
Um,
well, that's fine. Um, I'm sure there wasn't that many Solar Ox players, and now that GW
yeah,
has, oh, sorry, Forge World has retrieved half of the Solar Ox stuff. You can only
yep,
really get it from recasters. I don't think we're really going to see that many Solar Ox
huge
players
amount.
anyway. It's affecting very few people, I think. Lord Marshal Ayrton Mashade, damn special characters. Under the heading Protector of Agathon, Agathon, yeah. Replace the text with the following: a bunch of words. Um, blah, blah, blah. So long as this jerk is present on the battlefield the first time, any friendly unit other than a dedicated transport, laws of war choice, or unique unit in the same detachment as him is destroyed. Roll a d6. On a roll of 5 or 6, a new identical unit is placed in the controlling player's ongoing reserve. This effect may only occur once per game. Okay, so
Yeah,
yeah, this was like the old Imperial Guard dude. Um, that
uh,
like had send in the next wave or whatever, but this is
yep,
only once per game. So that
yep.
I'm guessing that's the
So
clarification. It's just not coming back over and over again now.
yeah, they've added the once per game.
Yeah, that's a shame. That's a real shame. Master of Worlds, Provenance of War, page 72, under the heading Survivors of the Dark Age. Ooh, uh-oh. This is for Imperial Army. Sorry, Militia.
Yep.
Oh no.
Ah,
Oh no.
stuff I know.
Oh no, replace. So do I. It's just getting worse and worse. Replace. I love militia. I wish. Ugh, it's just a lot of work to get a militia army up and
Yeah.
running. Replace all of the text under the subheading option advanced weapons with the following: the strength of las pistols, las carbines, las rifles, las locks, and rotor cannons used by grenadier and platoon commander cadres squads with this, provenance may be increased by +1 for 20 points per squad. If this option is taken, all such squads in the army must be upgraded. In addition, grenadier and platoon command cadres with this provenance may take either a Rhino or Land Raider Proteus as a dedicated transport, so long as they number 10 models or less, or a termite assault drill so long as they number 12 models or less. See the Legionary Starters Age of Darkness Army list for details and points cost. Efforts should be made to model this upgrade accordingly with suitably ornate or enhanced weapons. Okay, so that's a bit of that's crazy. So yeah, it used to be 20 points to get the extra strength and range or whatever
Yep.
with your gats, but you can't just pick and choose now. If you choose, if one squad has it, they all got to take it. So that can get quite
Uh,
points extensive, right?
that was always the case.
Well, shit.
Yeah, that was always the case. The only change to this rule is the termite drill.
Okay, but it says Legion of Saturday of Darkness army list for it, but don't that has its
Uh,
own rules for it.
that's for the that's you. So we'll have the printout for the drill,
Oh, right, but for the Rhino, it's got
and it's
the
the Rhino and the Land Raider
yeah.
for the Age of Darkness.
Cool. See, with the 12 models, so with the you take a Rhino with 10. So there was always a conjecture with militia. They have 10 grenadiers.
Yep.
Sorry, they have. Do you need 12 to take special weapons? Are those extra to the special weapons? So if you put them in a
Yes.
Rhino, you can't have special weapons, right?
Yep.
So that's why you got to take the Arvite lighter to the aircraft, right? Because that can carry 12, and you get your special weapon.
Yep.
And you're like zip lining down over these things, they're crashing down. Except you just got to like get a mortgage to pay for them all. All
Oh
right.
yeah.
Master of Worlds, Provenance of War, under the heading Trader Only, Cult Horde, oh dear. Replace the first sentence with the following. Uh-oh. All eligible units and models with this provenance gain hatred and stubble special rules. What? No! No more fearless zombies.
Yep.
What the
Yep.
fuck? Sorry, when were zombies stubborn and not fearless? What the
No,
fuck did they
I
do? What have they
don't know.
done?
Like,
What have they done? This is
yep.
bullcrap. This is an injustice on the small community of militia players. This is awful.
Yeah.
Um, Mechanicum players can take upgraded, fearless, freaking robot men.
Yep.
Why the hell can't we have fearless zombies? This is awful. Forge World, redact this. This is an assault on every militia player ever. It's an assault on 3.5 codex we used to be able to take. Wait, 3.5? No, not 3.5. Little after that, you could still get zombies. No, 3.5. You could get zombies, right? You could change militia. So the Eye of Terror Codex. Oh yes, that's
Yep.
where you could get fearless zombies. That's what it was about, man. That was why it was cool. You'd have Death Guard. You could put in a couple of squads of allied freaking zombies. But now they're fucking stopping zombies. That's stupid. Screw you,
Like,
Forge World, man. This is dumb. This is the dumbest shit ever.
yeah. Like, I wanted the 7th edition, 6th and 7th Chaos with Typhon and his Plague Horde as well.
Yeah, that
So
that was that was a bit OP. But there was nothing like that for this. This was
no.
fluffy as hell. But sure, okay, Forge World. That's awful. That is probably that's a bad move by Forge World.
Yep.
TBH. The Horus Heresy Mechanicum Tegmata Army List. Uh-oh. Magus Prime. Under the heading Ordinator, replace the text with weapons profile under the bullet point bombardment with the following: bombardment once per game in lieu of firing a weapon in the shooting phase. An Ordinator can opt to call in a bombardment attack against the enemy. This attack need not select the same target as any unit in which the Ordinator is attached, and may be made even if he moved this turn or is embarked in the vehicle. So it's just like the Master of Signals bombardment. He can
Yep.
move, he can target a different squad. Yeah, sick. Magus Dominus, under the heading Patris Cybernetica, add the following at the end of the text. A character with the special rule may not join any unit with one or more models with the flying monstrous creature unit type. The character with this visual may not join any unit with one or more models. Okay, because yeah, that unit in the latest, no, in book
Yeah.
6.
The Vulturax.
Um, no. Well, yeah, they're a monstrous creature, yep. But there's also another unit.
Oh.
There is another unit. They're like Castellax with the flying special rule. They've got
Oh,
claws and
the
shit.
Adalax.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Yep.
so there's 2 units you can't join. I don't know who the hell's putting their Magus Dominus with them. I guess it creates, especially the Voltrex. I mean, it's more
Yeah.
survivability, but I mean, you're severely um,
Hindering that squad.
hindering the movement. Like Jesus, that dude's not flying anywhere. But all right,
No.
cool. I don't know who was doing that. Probably Tim. Take that, Tim, you jerk. The Horus Heresy, Book 4, Conquest, Relics of the Dark Age of Technology, Clarification, page 222. The rules for the Relics Age of Darkest Technology, including the campaign rules section of the Horus Heresy, Book 4, Conquest, are intended for use with the acquired as part of the narrative campaign by prior agreement of all involved parties. In casual games, players should seek the agreement of their opponent before they including these powerful items of war gear in their armies, and they should not be treated as being part of the standard armies. How many times? This is like the 10th time they put this in the FAQ. Is that? Do
Yep.
they need to keep putting this in the FAQ? Do they really need to do that? Because I think this is already a thing 20 times already.
Yeah. Yeah. I believe it's word for word in the book as well. I'm assuming they just keep getting questions about it.
Oh, can I infiltrate my bastion? Anyway, the Horus Heresy, Book 6, Retribution, Black Shields, Allegiances, page 220, under the heading, a note on allegiances, add the following at the end of the text. Though Black Shield armies made declare as traitor or loyalist. Neither of these allegiances can trust those who would scratch out the signs of their legion heritage. All factions that Black Shields as distributed allies on the Age of Darkness allies chart. Distributed allies on the Age of Darkness. So all factions treat Black Shields as distrusted allies. Okay, there you
Yep.
go. So you can't just, yeah, so, yeah, righto. So I'm guessing traitors were saying, oh, they're brothers in arms or something, and loyalists were saying, yeah,
Yeah.
same. So they're just distrusted allies. I think I've seen less Black Shield armies than I have militia and Solux armies, which
Yep.
is a shame because you can have strength, toughness 5 Terminators rocking around. So I don't know why people aren't doing a Black Shields army. I wanted to do one with deep striking um, veterans when they had sniper and stuff, and with
Yeah.
the combi weapons and stuff. But oh well, they had ballistic skill 5. You can do some crazy stuff with them, but so it's and you can do your own color scheme. You can come up with your own fluff. It's a very narrative thing, and there's some really good combos. They've got torrent flamers as well. Like there's some really cool shit that they can do. I just you don't see them much, which is weird. And I don't know who the
Yeah.
hell was allying them with other stuff. All right.
Yeah.
Um, Anarchius Sonica, page 273, under the subheading the Voiden Serbian. In the special rules section, replace the weapon profile with the following: range dash strength 2, +2, AP 2, type melee, two-handed armor entropic destroyer. And it has its thing inflict D3 additional wounds or hull points. So who the hell has this thing? That
This is
Archangel does not.
the newest Dark Mech character.
Oh right, Mr. Spider Boy.
Spider Lady
Spider-Man.
or Spider Boy, whatever he
Spider-Man.
is.
Spider-Man. I think it's for Xanar too as well. Yeah, right, that boy. Okay, so yeah, he's like most pre-made characters. He's eh, if you're taking him, I hope it's a narrative campaign, TBH, but you know, whatever, more power to you.
Yeah.
The Horus Heresy, Book 7, Inferno, oh god.
Here we
Legion,
go.
Legion of Stars, Thousand Suns, page 209, under the heading called Arcane, replace the third bullet point with the following. Each cult arcane has an associated psychic discipline. Units belonging to a particular cult arcane may only generate powers from their matching psychic discipline.
So this affected the old Sekhmet because the old Sekhmet were locked to, I believe it was pyromancy and telekinesis.
Okay.
But if you took Court of the Crimson King without Magnus, your warlord had. Yeah, so if you took Ahriman as your warlord for that, they technically would have had to have rolled on Div, but because they couldn't generate, they were stuck with their standard powers and not getting the +1.
Ha, take that, Macca, you jerk. Okay, Thousand Suns Legion specific units, page 210. Under the heading Legion specific unions, Osran, Patton, Dreadnought, Talons are an elite choice. Disregard any reference to this unit in other force organizations. Okay, that's just more clarification there.
Yep.
See, Thousand Sun Legion specific war gear, page 210, under the heading Arcane Latiners. Mend the first sentence to read. The banner of Arcane Latiners ignores the first perils of warp result, which they suffer. This effect may only occur once per game. So I think Maka was bitching about this. So he might have been just a lot of people were just using this over and over again to ignore to ignore
Yep.
just to re-roll their perils basically. And as much as Mac thinks they're OP and they never they can control the warp, it's not the case, man. Everyone has their limit. Okay,
Yep.
they're just be thankful they get it once per game, because if it was for me, they'd always perils every time they were placed on a table
Yeah.
and get removed from play, and your opponent automatically wins. So you're lucky I'm not
Yeah.
writing the
Yeah.
goddamn fucking FAQ, Macca, you son of a
Like,
bitch.
the book says it was one use before. It just said it doesn't. It just didn't say one use only.
Yeah. So to be just one
So
use, they might have been saying, oh, one use per turn, one per one. Wait, it's every
yeah.
second. I'll just use it every second. Yeah, nice. Well, I'm good.
Yep.
Good that that's clarified. Uh, Australian Dreadnought, Thousand Suns Contempt Dreadnought variant, page 211, under the heading. So this is their HQ boy, I think, right? So any Legion Contempt Dreadnought
Yeah.
Talon taken as part of the Thousand Sun detachment may be upgraded to Osiron pattern Dreadnought Talon for 50 points per model. If the Talon is upgraded in this manner, oh no, this is the okay. All
Yep.
Legion Contemptor Dreadnoughts in the Talon must be upgraded to this pattern of Dreadnought. An Osiron pattern Dreadnought Talon retains all of the options and rules of the Legion Contemptor Dreadnought Talon in addition to the following, as of page 211. So I'm guessing people were thinking that it lost its save or something, or it just got a new profile. So this
Before it was plus 50 points each. It didn't force you to. It didn't say or specify to force you that the whole Talon had to become
okay. So people were taking the talent and just paying the 50 points instead of
for one.
effectively,
Yeah.
yeah, instead of the 100 or 150 points that they should have been paying. Okay, cool. So that's
Yeah.
not the HQ one. My disregard that.
I believe it's been flicked out of HQ with the earlier
Oh, Roger. Okay,
with the earlier elite's choice disregard any unit. So it's flicked over to just be solidly an elite's choice, so you can't take it as your warlord anymore.
cool. Castellax Arcane Battle Automator Mantle, page 213, under the heading War Gear, amend the second bullet point to read 2 Power Fists, each with an inbuilt bolter with asphex shells. They're burning bolt thingies.
Yep.
On the final bullet point, under the heading Options, amend the reference to Ether
The
Flame? Ether
Ether Flame,
Flame
yeah.
Cannon to instead read Ether Flame Fire Cannon. Okay, right.
Yeah. That's
So
their fancy plasma cannon things.
yeah. So this isn't the template thing, is it?
It's the
Because they
blast
right.
weapon.
Okay. So it's yeah. So they just changed flame to fire. Cool.
Yep.
Sure. Second Terminator Cavill, page 214. Under the heading Special Rules, remove the asterisks and phrase a Secmec Terminator Cavill may choose its powers from the telekinesis or pyromancy disciplines. In addition, add the following bullet points. Impeccable advance. So now they're restricted to 2 psychic powers, right?
No, this is removing that restriction.
Ah,
So now, if you bring Court of the Crimson King with Ironman, and you have your Sekhmet as your troops choice, they have to generate on Div.
cool. Okay.
Yeah, and that means they'll all be Corvidae and have their +1 to casting.
Right, right. So yeah, this is again another thing that Maka was getting pretty heated up about. He's like, oh, if I don't just use div, then it's all crappy and stuff. Well, maybe that's their specialty. Yeah, take that, Maka.
Yeah.
It's another take that to you, Maka. Ooh, this is your
Yes.
your thing here. Space Wolves. Well, more of your thing. Space Wolves Army Selection, page 223. Replace all the texts under the heading Space Wolf Army Selection with the following. When selecting units in a Legion, start a Space Wolf detachment. Following alterations and provisions apply. Space Wolf Legion detachment must fulfill their compulsory HQ choice with either a Praetor Centurion, represented as a Wolf Lord, or Claw Leader, respectively, or unique character with the Legion Starter Space Wolf rule. Other HQ choices or console types may not be selected as a compulsory HQ choice in this attachment. So were people taking a Master of Signals or something to try and fill this?
No, we weren't able to take Gagor Fell-Handed or Haval Redblade as our compulsory slot.
Ah,
So we could still take so we take the Praetor and the Centurion, which It specifically says you can't upgrade it to any form of console. And they fill the compulsory slot.
Mhm.
So sometimes it would be okay, I've done it myself. I've just paid the 50 points and then hit him at the back of the field.
Yeah, so I have seen that before with other people. In Queensland, there was an event, and that's what he did, and I was just like, what the hell is going on? But yeah, righto,
Yeah.
cool.
But yep, now we can take the named characters as the compulsory slot, so that makes it more tempting to bring them, and you don't have to pay a tax for them to have them now.
Oh, cool. Maybe we'll finally see those models get in production. A Space Wolves, not bloody likely. A Space Wolves detachment must also include at least one HQ choice per 1,000 points or part thereof in the army, regardless of the force organization chart being used and the maximum available number of HQ choices. These additional HQ requirements may be fulfilled by any HQ choice available to the army. For example, when using the standard Crusade force organization chart, in detachments of 1,001 points to 1,999 points, at least 2 HQ choices must be included. In detachments of 2,001 points to 2,999 points, however, at least 3 HQ choices must be included. In an attachment of 3,001 points to 3,999 points, at least 4 HQ choices must be included, and so on, exceeding the maximum of 3 HQ choices available. In all cases where there is a limit to the number of HQ choices available, an additional HQ choice is made available that must be filled by a Space Wolf detachment per 1,000 points. So this should have been in the book 7 as is.
Yeah,
When you start screwing around with force org charts with additional HQ choices, and there were heaps of
yeah,
questions, and the community did figure it out anyway,
yeah.
and this was so good on Forge World taking that long to copy and paste something that had already been from the community. But it's good
Yep.
that they didn't screw the community around as well.
No, no.
The Chaplain, Librarian, and Primus Medicae console types are not available to a Space Wolf detachment, being replaced by the Priest of Fenris. See page
Yep.
234.
That's the same.
Cool. A Space Wolf detachment must fulfill its compulsory troops choice with Crazelayer packs. See page 230. All other troops choices found in Space Wolf detachments gain the support squad special rule if they do not already possess it. Note that when making use of the right of war, which stipulates that another unit can be taken as a compulsory troop choice, a Space Wolf detachment may instead take that unit to fulfill its compulsory troops choice in order to meet the requirement of that right of war. So does this mean you can take Pride of the Legion and stuff now?
I can now take Pride of the Legion, and that makes me happy because I've now got more variety.
Awesome. That's great. That's good on Forge World for that. Hooray. Space Wolves unique right of war, the Bloodied Claw, page 225, replace instead of Furious Assault with Furious Charge. Yep, like you said, we're seeing a lot of that.
Yep.
Fenris Rules, page 226, replace Instance with Panic Test with Morale checks. Nice. The Frostblade, pages 227, amend the second paragraph to read any Space Wolves independent character with the power weapon may exchange, not must, may exchange this for a Frostblade, Frost Sword, Frost Axe, or Frost Claw for 5 points, or a Great Frostblade for 10 points. Additionally, in the weapons profile, amend the first weapon's name, Frostblade, to read Frost Sword. So what's changed there? You get any more weapons or no?
Nothing's changed. They've switched, so it's a Frost Sword instead of Frost Blade. That's it. Nothing else there. That's all the same points, all the same options. Every single one of them specialist weapons anyway, so
Okay. Grey Sailor Packs, page 230. In the option selection, under the following bullet points, replace the reference of the frost weapons with the frost blade. The Huskal, rather, may take one of the following options. Exchange their close combat weapon for a frost weapon. Cool. I thought he wasn't doing that before.
this, because it's specifically gone to Frost Blade,
Ah,
it means that they can no longer take a Great Frost Blade.
Okay, so he can only have the claw or the
Yeah,
axe or the
you know,
sword. Yeah, he can't have the 10.1.
yeah.
Okay. Warrior's Mantle, page 231, under the heading Warrior's Mantle, amend the second paragraph to read: Model with this specific rule may not voluntarily go to ground, but may roll failed pinning tests and may make charge moves after running or after firing their bolters, suffering a -1 to their charge distance. If they do, if an independent character which does not have the Warrior's Metal special rule joins a unit of Grey Slayers, they may not benefit from this rule until the independent character leaves the unit.
Yep. So this was a argument for some players that if the Praetor or Centurion had a assault weapon when they fired the rapid fire weapons, that they'd still get to charge because they only fired an assault weapon.
Right.
But yeah, this just means that unless you've got the actual unique character, the Gagor Fell and one in the squad, there's no benefits.
Cool.
And this will also affect if you've got apothecaries attached to the squad.
Ooh, yeah, true. Haha. Take that, stupid wolf players. Mary Sue players. Priest of Fenris, page 234. Ooh. Increase this unit's initiative to characteristics to 5. Was it 4 or something?
Yes.
Well then,
When it's supposed to replace the Centurion and it's got a lower stat profile somewhere,
well, maybe they're
it's
just
kind of odd.
lazy. Well, that's what happens if you're sitting around drinking alcohol when you're not going to war. Maybe the initiative should have stuck to 4. Damn, they just want
Yeah.
everything, don't they? Lehman Russ. Oh my goodness, page 238. The armor of Enclave special rule section. Replace the second paragraph with the following: the wearer gets 2+ armor, 4+ invulnerable, 3+ against flamers, melter, plasma type of weapons of any kind. In addition, enemy models in base-to-base contact with Lehman Russ suffer negative penalty of a -1 to hit him in assault to a maximum of 6+. So that's a little bit of a buff for him, yeah?
It's actually a detraction.
Oh dear.
Because for the first round of combat, you're in base contact with him before. It
Mhm.
was -1. And after that, anything that's still there for ensuing combats, it's -2.
Oh,
So you could not be able to hit him.
all right then.
Yeah.
Well, more hits to Lehman Russ's jerky
Yes.
ass face. Cool. Sisters of Silence, Carahorn Patton Aquesta, page 270, under the heading Transport Capacity at the following bullet point. This vehicle may not carry any model with the bulky, very bulky, or extremely bulky special. Okay, the reason why that's a thing is because people were taking Sisters, those freaking black ship things, and
Yep.
putting a shield captain in there.
Yep.
So no more
Yep.
shield captains with Sisters. No, yeah, sick, good, good. Well, they can still be with them. They just can't be in the transport, right?
Yeah.
Take that. Skitari, what the hell? Skitori Oxa.
That's
Wow.
Sekitari Axiarch, yeah.
Cool. Page 289er. Under the heading Special Rules, add the following bullet points. Independent character. What the? Okay, so
Yeah,
that's
he
page.
only had character before.
Ah. Ah, okay. So yeah, like a sergeant kind of thing. So now you
Yep.
check around. Cool. Um, a Castus Knight, Praetorian, under the heading Household Rank, Questores only. Replace the text with the following. When used as part of a questing Knight Crusade army list, the model is subject to the Household Rank special rule, which may grant it an alteration to its basic profile and additional special rules as shown in the Questing Knights Crusade Army special rule. However, the Augustus Knight Praetorian may not be chosen for the rank of Sanction Marshal, Sanction Aspirant, or the Ulan. Sino Ulan. Okay, so he's just a support boy. He's not a HQ boy.
No.
Oh,
So the Marshal and the Aspirant are the troops upgrade,
oh right. So he has to be a
and
HQ boy.
So you can take him as an HQ.
Okay. Okay.
Otherwise, the Ulan is fast attack.
Ah,
Because the fast attack would have gotten him scout and hit and run.
hilarious.
Yep.
That would have been pretty. Okay, so people were. Well, night house. People taking night houses aren't the
Yeah.
most ethical of players anyway, right? So it's good that
Yeah.
they've been
Yeah.
put in their place. Wow, we're still going here. Okay. Voltrax. Yeah. Okay.
Hey.
So they changed their profile. They now looks pretty much the same. What was the thing here? Their points, 175 each. That's the same, I think. What was
Is
it
it
that
the
got it?
arc blaster that changed at all?
Um, maybe Arc Blaster. Um, Power Lace Mini Rending, Ginsight, Shred, Haywire, Heavy 3, Haywire. So 24 inches, Strength 6, AP 5, Heavy 3, Shred, Haywire. I can't remember what they did get a nerf. It was a slight nerf. So they're
Yeah.
still OP. They're pretty cheap. Toughness
Oh,
6.
the flare shield.
Okay.
They don't have their flare shield.
Okay, that's good. So they're better, easier killed now, I suppose.
Yep.
What's it wound? Yeah, okay, that's good. Okay, take that, stupid Tim, and your 3 freaking Voltarax. Um, Frequently asked questions, general FAQ. Oh, I like these ones. These are great. Remember
Yep.
the seventh edition one where people like asking for 40k. They're like, hey, can I infiltrate my bastions? Can my
Yep.
bastions do they get a scout move? Yeah, it's great. Let's see what the Heresy community has to say to Forge World. Now I don't know how this works. Is it do they pick the ones that get asked the most, or do they think the
I,
ones that like?
I would assume, or the like just strangest interactions. I would hope.
Yeah, let's see. Some units have multiple versions of the rules available across PDF downloads, campaign books, and army list books. Which one should I use? When referring to units entries, the rules which have appeared in multiple publications, the entry is the latest relevant rulebook or army list book taken priority unless book that is not the latest publication. Really? Example, if there has been a more recent downloadable rules PDF, in which case the latest version of this FAQ takes priority. Well, that's a no fucking brainer. Thanks for taking up
Yeah.
like 2 paragraphs of that. Whoever put in that, whoever asked that question, guess they were hoping for the answer, whatever book you deem necessary. It's not
Yeah.
the case. Get out of here. Get out of here. Age of Darkness Rulebook FAQ. Are the rules for taking Lords of War in books such as Crusade Imperialis army lists and Mechanicum Tegmata army lists overridden by the rules for taking Lords of War in the Horus Heresy Age of Darkness rulebook? Yes. Thanks. On page 177 of the Age of Darkness rulebook, combi Volkite charges and combi grenade launchers aren't one use. Is this intentional? Yes. This is intended to balance these varieties of combi weapons against plasma gun or combi weapon. Wow, that's huge. Okay, I didn't know. I thought the grenade launcher and the Volkite would be one shot. I thought all combi weapons were one use, right? So now, really?
Uh, yeah. So yeah, that was the addition for the new one.
Yeah, that's
So
crazy because Dark Angels can take their grenade launchers, right? Combi, if they have a combi
yeah.
grenade launcher, they can do that multiple times now.
Yep.
Sick. That that's more incentive for people to take vets with combi bolter rather, with grenades and a power weapon. Sure, it's an
Yep.
expensive unit, but man, I'm gonna look at doing that now. That's crazy. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Um, what profile should I use for plasma grenades? Plasma grenades are assault grenades. See page 182. Plasma grenade. Who has a plasma grenade in 30k?
Uh, the custodians.
Ah, of course. Yes. Okay.
That's their grenades.
Yeah, nice. Cool. Can warlord traits and other special rules which are determined after army creation have an effect on an army creation? Okay. Example, to fulfill rights of war restrictions. Yes, but only if these warlord traits or specific rules are chosen by the controlling player and not rolled for randomly. In this case, make a note of which warlord trait or other special rule you have chosen for the game during army creation and explain this to your opponent before the game begins. For example, the Alpha Legion unique right of war, the Coils of Hydra states that infantry squads that do not have either a dedicated transport or the ability to infiltrate a deep strike may not be chosen as part of the force. An Alpha Legion player may choose during army creation that they will be using the mutable tactics special rule to infiltrate their infantry using units during this game, thus fulfilling this criteria. Was that really ever an issue for anyone?
It just works out to it's just an order of operations
Alright, cool.
question. Yeah,
At least they're given good responses. Is
yeah.
it possible to field multiple HQs with provision that they must be the army's warlord? You may only do this in the case of the Primarch. In all cases, the Legion's Primarch taken precedence over others. And so, if present in an army representing the legion, their legion, they must be the army's warlord and can subordinate other characters with this special rule. Although you will gain no warlord benefits from the subordinate's character, with the exception of a Primarch and subordinate. However, you may not include more than one model with the limitation in any particular army. Okay.
So I'll give you an interaction. Callus Typhon and Marshal Jor Rask from Death Guard.
Hmm.
They both have Jealous Command.
Right.
So they can both be taken if you've got Mortarion present,
Hmm.
but not otherwise.
Okay. So yeah, they don't just slap each other silly to try and take that.
Yeah.
Well, your dog plays Death Guard, obviously. He's pretty happy about that. Play dog, Death Guard, doggy. Cool. Can I upgrade unique special named characters with weapons and war gear from their army's armory? Example, can I give Ironfather or Tekmor a cyber familiar because the rules say any Iron Hand character may take one? No, unique units may never be altered. Who the hell was trying to do that? Anyway, with the exception of options that are specifically listed on their profile, they're already equipped with all their weapons and war gear they need. Cool. If you ever played any Warhammer game, you'd know that'd be the case. So thanks, whoever sent that question in 6 million times. Cheers.
Yeah. It's also the argument of, oh my god, dog.
He's just happy. He likes the FAQ too. He's good. He's good.
If it's the argument of, I'll go back to the Death Guard again for the reference. The Reaping.
Hmm.
For 10 points, you can give anybody with the character or independent character rule a rad grenade.
Yeah.
So Mortarion, Rask, all of those guys.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Cool. Cool. Army list FAQs. What is the standard Terminator armor? Okay, this one you've cracked on about when this FAQ came out. But anyway,
Yep.
if the rule makes reference to the standard Terminator armor, it is not specified a particular pattern. In these instances, its pattern is that which it represented on the physical model used, and only a single type of Terminator armor may be chosen from that unit when including it in your army. Please refer to page 133 of the Horus Heresy Legion of Starters as Age of Darkness special rule list for available types of Terminator armor. So the available types of Terminator armor we have so far is Tartarus, which is
Yep.
5 plus invo, 2 plus armor save. They don't
They
have
can
any movement
sweep. They can
restrictions. Yep,
run.
they can
Yeah.
do all that crazy stuff. Then we have what's another one?
The Cataphracti,
Yep, cool. So they
which is
have
the pseudo slow and purposeful.
yeah, they don't have so
That,
on purposeful because otherwise people would put them in characters in like heavy weapon
yeah, heavy
squads.
weapon
Yeah,
slots.
and give them relentless and stuff. So they've got
Yep.
all the and they can't run down Terminator, but they got a 4++ instead of
Yeah,
the 5++. Cool. And then we have the 40k,
Indominus.
yeah, the 40k Terminator armor, which isn't still on purposeful, so they can run and move normally. Can they run?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah,
They
they can
just
run.
can't sweep in advance.
Yep.
Cool. And they've got the 5+ info instead of a 4+. Cool. Now, what is the issue with this though? Because it's with your Death Guard, right?
Yeah, it's with the Death Guard. The being in Book One, that was it was before Indominus pattern was available to take as an upgrade. So the Death Shroud Terminators have specifically listed just as Terminator armor as their variant. So going on the rule that it says in the book as well that it's whatever it's modeled with, the Death Shroud from Forge World come in a Tartarus-esque Terminator variant. So you could say that they're Tartarus armor. But then I could also build a full squad of Cataphracti armor or Indominus armor if I chose. Is basically where that goes.
Okay. Well, maybe they'll clarify it more down the road. Do Primarchs have the particular pattern of Terminator armor? Unless specified, stated otherwise, Primarchs are always considered to wear a unique type of armor for game purposes, with its rules described in their unit entry. Any reference to the Primarch wearing Terminator or Artificer armor are purely for descriptive purposes and not affect their abilities in game. So that's cool. Pretty standard. When I arrive, personally, when I arrive from reserve, when is this? When I walk into the event and through the door, with a Terex pattern termite assault drill in my hand, using the subterranean assault rule. Can I choose to place the large blast marker on top of another unit before determining scatter? No, the blast marker must not be initially placed on top of impassable terrain or within 1 inch of another model.
So I feel like this guy was a Tyranid Morlock player.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. um, do you plan to get any subterranean drill assault drills?
I'm thinking so. I wish that I could put a 6-man Terminator squad in them though, but because they can't take bulky, I'll probably. Since I got my militia army is a Death Corps
Oh, cool,
force,
cool,
so I'll probably end up getting them for the Grenadier squads.
sick. Some of the Cassian Dracoris Reborn's cybernetic powers change his Warhound's characteristics, or compare this to his enemy. His wounds, correction, his wounds, not Warhounds. Jesus Christ, too much. Jesus, yeah, I wish he had Warhounds. Too much narrative gameplay for me. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
So yeah, changes his wound. Sorry, yeah, because your army just you got a point of interest, right, during the campaign, and just this dog appeared out of nowhere.
Yep.
Did you get to, yeah, you got to keep him. Did he stay alive through the whole campaign?
Oh no, I ended up putting him back after the thing because I wasn't
Oh, because
informed
only
that
for the
the
game.
yeah, I was told it was for the game, or at least I was under the assumption, and then I found out about 3/4 of the way through the second day that oh no, you get to keep him the whole time.
Oh, that's a shame. Oh, you could have gotten a pet dog. Oh well. But in this case, it's wounds, not hounds. Um,
Yeah.
how is this possible? The Horus Heresy Campaign Book 6, Retribution, page 252. When using Cyber 3G powers, reference to wounds should be exchanged with hull points when referring to the Cassian Draco. Okay, so that's like with my little hacking ability, right? Or with the hacking
Yeah.
little ability, you can give wounds. Yeah, so you can't. Um, yeah, okay, that makes sense. I always thought I didn't even know you could freaking hack vehicles. But all right, sick. In the Talons, I just don't take them because they just become immobilized. I just take walkers and
Yeah.
monstrous creatures. So whatever. Even my walkers become immobilized. Hell, I usually just take the long way around and just not go through any dangerous terrain with my walkers because they will just become immobilized. In the Talons of the Emperor army list, the Horus Heresy Book 7. Boo! Hashtag not my Book 7. Inferno Page, not Page, yeah, the good old Pagington Bear 2412 dash 282. What states does the Miscrodia have? It's a symbol of office for the Legion Custodes. It has no in-game use and can be ignored on any unit which lists it as a piece of war gear. Okay, so this is a little knife, right? Is this a little knife?
Yeah, it could be a knife. It could be a brooch.
Yeah, right. Because I think they have a
Yeah,
little knife. Anyway,
yeah.
okay, cool. So it's
Because
just
I think
ornate.
yeah, it's just yay, I'm the boss.
Cool. Well, thank crap. That concludes the general FAQ. Is there anything you'd like to add? Did they not address anything that you or the community as a whole were after?
Overall, it covered almost everything. I kind of would have liked it if my question about the death shroud got answered, but
Yeah,
you go with what you get.
that's it. I'm happy for something rather than nothing, to be honest.
Yeah,
For me, I think personally, it's a damn shame they got rid of um, fearless zombie militia because
yeah,
that was such a flavoursome thing. Um, but it's great to see sniper vets get a debuff and to see the seekers become more a better
viable.
flavor choice. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
Cool. Well, we'll take a break here, see if you want to continue, and we'll just break this up into three portions. So the next thing will be the drop pod one. That's pretty short, so we'll probably do drop pod and custodes. We'll see how it is. So yeah, and if you manage to sit through this whole fucking thing, good work. Yeah, let us know in the comments what you wanna hear. Ask questions to Rules Boy, and he can answer them if he chooses to. He might come along and he just might just laugh at you or whatever, and have discussions. Is there any rules that you guys wanted to see done, and are you happy with this FAQ? Cool. So we'll see you in the next one.